All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Day 3. I think I've come up with a name finally. E-Bike Riders. All right. Yeah, so um, just to kind of put this all into perspective just a little bit, the big question is how I believe that electric bikes have the power to change your lifestyle. I've seen it with the thousands of people that we've helped at the shop get out on electric bikes and, continue, maybe rediscover how to enjoy their life. It, it really is a very unique experience, a unique activity that, there's a reason cycling has been so popular for so long. It's a massive industry. A lot of people cycle for recreation. It's not just the activity, exercise portion. It's not just the transportation portion. There's something, fundamental and inherent in it about getting out and exploring. Those are some of my best bicycle rides that I've ever had is, when I didn't know where I was going. And e-bikes are so great because you don't think about the consequences. There's not this internal, mental barrier to prevent you from getting out or prevent you from taking the unknown route. I remember riding with one of my friends. We were heading south from our bike shop, and we live right along the coast, and so there's a lot of hills that come up to the coast, and the sun was just about to set, and we were either going to stay up top and watch it or go down to the beach. If we were on the regular pedal bikes, regular beach cruisers, we would have stayed up top and watched it. But being okay with bombing down this hill so that we could get down to the beach area to watch the sunset, we were able to find a spot that we had never been to before. Not that looked like many people, or it was definitely a local spot, and got to watch the sunset from there without any trepidation about having to get back up the hill to get home, get back to the bike shop, because the electric power helped us do that. So, I think that's one of the biggest things. It ranges, it's just cycling improves your health, your mental well-being, your level of enjoyment, your ability to become present, like I talked about yesterday. So it just has so many great benefits. And if it's going to change your lifestyle, if it's going to allow you to get out there and enjoy your life too, you need to become an avid cyclist, an avid e-biker, an avid e-bike rider. And what you need to do in order to do that is to find the best electric bike for you. So the best electric bike, is only the best if it's the best for you. A $6,000 dual suspension, specialized, is not going to do much for you, even though it's the best technology, the best motor, the best mechanical components, the best frame. It's not going to do anything for you unless you're an off-road mountain biker. Riding something like that on the street, well, it might initially be comfortable. It's not going to allow you to put a rack on the back, carry a cargo. It's not going to allow you to do a lot of the things that you want your electric bike to do. So finding out, what are the key fundamental features and differences between the electric bikes, finding out which different features offer which benefits, and then considering which group of benefits that you're looking for. What is your rider profile, and matching that up is how we're kind of going about this. The framework, definitely is, the goal is to get you out there so that you can enjoy your life as well. How do we do that? Well, we need to turn you into an avid cyclist, because one ride's not going to change your lifestyle. 2 rides isn't going to change your lifestyle. You know, you're going to have to, it's going to need to be a new hobby for you. You're going to want it to be a new hobby for you. And in order to do that, you know, there's fundamental points that we have to hit. You know, you got to pick the right e-bike for you. You've got to find a regular maintenance provider, or at least learn how to do the maintenance yourself, so that as you're using it, the bike stays properly tuned up. You need to find some accessories and learn how to accessorize it properly. So there's a lot that goes into it. Right now, what I'd really like to focus on is how do we find the best electric bike for you? You know, which features give which benefits, and which group of benefits is going to work for you. That's really the key here. So with that, I'd like to move into our rider profile today. You know, that's what I'd like to do here is to show success stories of what benefits a certain rider was looking for, what their shopping experience was like, and ultimately which bike they decided on. And again, the goal is, if you see yourself in this rider at all, if you think that the benefits that they're looking for, their rider profile, fits yours, you know, there's definitely a good chance that the bike that we're talking about is going to work really well for you as well. So today we're talking about a gentleman named Blair. Blair is, 45-year-old male, married, successful, and relatively fit. I think by his own admission, he will say that he's been putting on a little bit more weight. Metabolism doesn't work as well as when you're young. So at 45, he's got a couple kids, so a family, very busy at work. He was looking for a recreational activity, something that he could do with the family, something that would, give a spark of excitement back in his life outside of work. A lot of us get drawn into work and, focusing on excelling. It's tough to pull ourselves out of that situation and be present with our families. And so cycling is a great way to do that. You're fully engaged when you're cycling. You're not able to think about anything else because there's so much going on. So, it really pulls you into the present. Exercise, any sort of exercise will do that. The nice thing about e-bikes is that you can moderate how much exercise you're getting on the bike as you go. So you can start really easily. Getting into that exercise is the most difficult thing. Getting to the gym is the most difficult aspect of working out. Once you're there and you start warming up, you get into it, you become more present. But when your mind is somewhere else and you're putting your body through some sort of physical toll, it's just rebelling. It's not wanting to do that. It wants to just stop and think. So at least that's my experience. So that's what's so great about e-bikes. It removes all the mental barriers to getting out there onto the road. Once you're out there and you start getting into the moment, then you can turn off the electric assist or turn it way down and start getting a workout if you want. So Blair lives, like a lot of our customers, on top of a very, very steep hill. He's mostly riding with his family, and is just looking for a recreational vehicle. So we put him on one of the rear hub motors. Again, we start every conversation with the difference between the rear hub and the mid-drive. Those are really two distinct styles of electric bike. They really give you a different experience of what an electric bike is. So the rear hub, again, has a lot of raw power. You're going to be able to get a lot of power out of that bike while putting relatively little in yourself, if that's what you're looking to do, all the way to, using 100% electric assist. So that way it's kind of like a part moped, part bicycle. The mid-drive motors, they're going to give you a much more authentic cycling experience. It's going to monitor how hard you're pushing on the pedals and give you power back in relation to that. So in that way, it's kind of amplifying your pedal stroke, but if you're not doing anything, the amplification is nil as well. So the motor's not going to be doing a lot of work unless you're, actively pushing on the pedals. So he tried one of each, and he just loved that wow factor of the rear hub, as a lot of our customers do. So he was sold on the rear hub really quickly. I'd say like 95% of people that try one of each are sold pretty quickly. And we're getting a lot better at explaining the benefits from the rear hub versus the mid-drive, so that most people, just hearing us say that first little initial blurb, are able to tell us already, or are already leaning one way or the other quite heavily. So it's getting easier to talk about it and explain the benefits and make the right decision even before trying the bike. But trying it is always a great thing too. So he definitely liked the rear hub motor. He was used to kind of, the best of things. And so we put him on the E-Lux Tahoe GT. Now, E-Lux is a really cool company. You might not have heard of them before. They are local to us, company out of Costa Mesa, California. The owners had some experience working with Pedego electric bikes, actually, about 10, 12 years ago. And they kind of leaned into Pedego's initial success and, designed bicycles in the same category as them. So they're definitely the beach cruiser type. E-Lux has 3 models. The Tahoe is their fat tire cruiser. So it has 3.5 width tires, which just soak up so much of the shock and also give you a very surprising peace of mind when you're riding. That was surprising for me getting on one for the first time. You definitely don't feel like anything's going to knock you over. No stick. No, we have railroad tracks around. Nothing like that is going to knock you over. It also gives you a bit more of a, motorcycle experience. The ride quality is a little bit different. It has a lot more traction, so when you're turning, it does take more force to turn. So in that way, it also holds your line. It'll stay very stable, especially at high speeds, which is really cool. Especially because this bike has the largest motor, the most powerful motor that we have in stock, that we sell stock. So 1,000-watt rear hub motor, 48-volt battery, which is giving it a lot of juice, and a great controller as well, which is what's pushing the amperage through to that motor. It has a lot more shock absorption qualities to it, or features to it. It's got the front fork, front suspension fork. It also has a suspension seat post and an upgraded saddle. So a thick, cushy saddle with a suspension seat post. It's really the Harley of the fleet, or the Cadillac, if you will. Just a big, comfortable bike. Keep in mind that all of those things add weight, and this bike is quite heavy. So I don't normally recommend it for somebody who is looking to travel a lot with their bikes. Blair is riding just from home, and this is the bike with a huge capacity battery, so you're going to be able to go long distances riding from home. So do keep that in mind. We've got lots of people who do travel with it, and there's a very specific rack that we recommend for the car to be able to do that. So if you want to know about that, go ahead, just ask in a comment, and I'll be able to link you to that rack. So, Blair loved the shock absorption, the comfort quality of that bike. It really gave him that upright riding posture, throttle on tap. Just felt very confident and, ready to have some fun with the family. And, that's going on what I spoke about last week, this is a great story. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up is, that bike is $29.95. It's nearly $3,000, or it is $3,000. You're getting a lot of built-in value with that. Not only a great product, but one that a local bike shop, us, were able to maintain for him. Fulfill any warranty work that needs to be done for him, and just gives you a really great product. 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes up front with a 203 millimeter rotor, I believe, which they look like motorcycle brakes almost. They're huge. They're like downhill mountain bike brakes, which is killer, and nice gear shifting, and it's just a really great bike is what it is. E-Lux is so cool because each year, each production run, they improve one or two things, and any bike brand when they first start is not going to hit a home run right out of the park. The cool thing is that over years, they've been doing it for 8 years. Every year they improve just a little bit, and stick with the same price. So what you're getting today is a lot better value than what you would have got 5 years ago from them, or even 3 years ago. So that's really neat. Now, all of those benefits are really important to turning Blair into an avid cyclist, so an avid e-bike rider. He also bought a rad power bike for his wife at the same time, or he bought his bike and then his wife decided that she also wanted a bike. So for whatever reason, instead of coming down to us, she felt more comfortable shopping online, which I understand a lot of people do. It's just the way that some people shop online, or it's not even your fault or their fault. It's the way that the electric bike companies online are advertising the benefits of their product. They're preying on the fact that most folks, because it's a new technology, don't understand what features are actually going to give which benefits. They're blatantly mislabeling the benefits of certain things. I've seen so many instances of mechanical disc brakes instead of hydraulic, mechanical disc brakes claiming the most powerful stopping force. It's just objectionally incorrect. Hydraulic disc brakes are going to give you a much stronger braking force, a much better braking performance, hands down, across the board. Nobody will tell you that they prefer mechanical disc brakes. It's just not a reality. So she ended up buying a rad power bike, and initially, he was a little bit, not peeved, but maybe just a little bit questioning, like, I spent $3,000, my wife got one for $1,300, what's $1,500, after tax and everything. This is twice the price, and his wife was loving the bike, absolutely loving it. They were going on rides, and, for the first couple tune-ups, it was, we were seeing him 150, 250, and then 500 miles, and he was a little bit like, I love my bike, and my wife loves hers. She paid half of what I paid. Didn't ask it, but he was kind of thinking, could I have got a better bike for cheaper? And then, that was a year ago that we really saw him a lot, and 6 months went by. He came in for another tune-up, still loving his bike. He was at about 800 through the winter. He didn't ride too much, 800 miles, and then just about 2 weeks ago, he came in and he actually had a controller issue. He had melted a couple of connections together, which we see very infrequently, but it's something that does happen with those rear hub motors, especially those high power ones, which is one of the reasons why it's so important to have a local maintenance provider that's able to fix these issues, because that was a full stop. That was, the motor wasn't working. The heck do I do? And it's easy for us to fix now because we've learned how to do it. Learning that for the first time on your own, or trying to work through that with an online customer service would have been a nightmare, especially for somebody who's so busy with their career anyways. So that would have been a no-go. So, you know, the interesting thing that happened out of that though was he, I asked him, how's the riding going? His wife's still enjoying the bike. We hadn't seen her in for any tune-up or maintenance yet. And, she hasn't ridden that in 6 months. It's like, oh, yeah, why not? Oh, it's too big, too heavy for her. She thinks it's uncomfortable. She doesn't feel comfortable on it. And, that exactly goes to show you the difference between a higher quality bike and a lower quality bike. This was an extreme example. You're twice as expensive, but you're getting, nearly twice the capacity battery, twice the power motor. The suspension seat post is $170 itself. It's just so many upgrades, and mechanic or hydraulic disc brakes, which is key. So not a fair comparison, but the point still remains that it's important to consider what benefits each bike is going to give you. She just bought the wrong bike for her. I have no doubt that she could have bought another one of the rad models maybe, or something similarly priced even, and got a lot better experience out of it and still been riding to this day. So she got 6 months of enjoyment out of that, but was done riding, not because the bike even fell apart, but because it wasn't operating the way she wanted it to. She didn't feel comfortable. He came in from 800 miles to 1,500 miles. He had ridden 700 miles in that 6-month window, and has gotten easily twice the life already out of his bicycle. And he's only had it for a year. That's only in the first year. He's got another 3-4 years of use out of that bike with a small $200, $250, $300 maintenance bill every month, or every year, excuse me, if nothing breaks, So it's just it works out in the end, if you go with a better quality bike. But even more important than the better quality bike, I guess is what I'm saying, is getting the right bike for you. So that's really the most important thing. So all right, guys, I think guys and gals, I noticed I said just guys on the last couple of videos, which is not like me. So guys and gals, even though I know nobody's watching yet. So that'll do it for this episode of the E-Bike Riders series, E-Bike Rider Series. So, all right, thanks so much. Really enjoying. It's something that I'm looking forward to each day, hopping on here and learning this craft and trying to improve every day and just get better at articulating what it's about. I hope anybody watching is getting a little bit of value for their time. So thanks again, and looking forward to continuing this journey with you guys and gals. All right, take care.